So George Groves wins unanimous point decision against Glen Johnson. Now, coming to this fight, I did state that I believe that George Groves will win this fight on points or by late stoppage, more varying towards the points side of things. I also said that I saw that Glen Johnson, if he had any ambition, would try and go for the fight early. It seemed to me that Glen Johnson was looking for Groves to punch himself out and then try and unload afterwards. But at 43 years old, you know, a lot of people question whether Johnson should have come back. He'd come out of retirement and, you know, he didn't have the greatest form coming into this fight. So, but we all wanted to know what had happened when Johnson landed a punch on George Groves' chin, because there is a question mark still about his chin. See, for me, I think George Groves has got good power. I think he's got good hand speed, but he lapses in concentration, and his defense for me is not the tightest. He has his arms down by the side, and so he's always vulnerable to getting caught with a right hand over the top. And someone like Johnson, who's 43 years old, was able to land quite worryingly at times. Okay, they may not have the effect on George Groves that the desired effect that Johnson may have wanted at 43 years old. And the Sky commentators kept going on about, oh yeah, it's not the same fighter that fought Carl Froch. Well, of course it isn't. Well, 12 months ago, a 42-year-old who was fighting in the Super 6, and there was a possibility of winning the WBC World Championship, compared to 43 years old since the Carl Froch fight, losing back-to-back losses against guys you'd think you'd normally beat, and then coming out of retirement to fight for the Commonwealth title. You know, there's a big difference, you know, in the different fighters. And for me, Alan Booth, I think he's an excellent trainer. He talks a lot of sense, very intelligent guy, and you know, he knows that George Groves is not the finished article, and I know, well, I think he would manage George Groves in such a way where George Groves is in telling fights. Whether they're going to put him in with guys who are big punchers is going to be interesting, because the guy I think would be probably the most suitable guy for George Groves to fight, who's also one of the most dangerous guys for him to fight, and that would be Arthur Abraham. I think that George Groves, if you look at the way George Groves handled Glen Johnson, he was able to unload when Glen Johnson put his hands up. That's the sort of time, and I can imagine Booth telling Groves that's the time, as soon as Abraham puts his hands up, land you punches, and when he brings his hands down, stay out of range. I can see Booth trying to implement that sort of style, sort of hit and run tactics against someone like Arthur Abrahams, but when he's on the ropes, really punch him to the body. See, the thing is, unlike Glen Johnson, Arthur Abraham is known as a knockout puncher. Now, he doesn't have that same knockout reputation as super middleweight, but then I don't think George Groves has the greatest chin, and I don't think George Groves has got the greatest concentration. Having said that, though, going to fight against Arthur Abraham, and I think George Groves is the naturally bigger guy. He'll probably be aware of this, and I'd like to think that George Groves' style would have improved by the time he meets someone like Arthur Abraham. For me, personally, I'd like to see him have a rematch against Kenny Anderson. He needs to really have that fight against Anderson. I don't know what's going to happen, if that fight will ever happen again. It'll be interesting. He's talking about world title shots. I still think George Groves is ready for a world title shot yet. It'd be nice if he could get, you know, I mean, obviously the Gale is the European champion, so he can't fight for the European Championship just yet. Don't think he'd be interested in that. But some more meaningful fights, like not so much Glen Johnson, but more meaningful fights. Siglet would be a good fight for him to have. Yeah, and even Felix Stern. If Felix Stern decides to come to super middleweight, because there are rumours that he may come to super middleweight, Felix Stern would be a good fight as well, because he probably wouldn't punch that hard. I'm sure there are other super middleweights out there as well that George Groves could fight. But yeah, I think that again, George Groves exciting talent, but he has that, you know, Ahmed Khan thing about him that, you know, he'll, if you get the character, he'll go down, and he's got the same sort of wild style that Ahmed Khan's got. So we'll have to wait and see until he gets in the ring with somebody who's a big puncher. Then we'll see if he can still stick to the game plan. We know he's got plenty of heart if he does get put down, but we'll have to wait and see with George Groves. I saw nothing in George Groves tonight to say that his technique has improved. He's just still doing the same things, but we'll see. Time will tell. He just needs to fight more regular. Okay, I'm out.